It feels like a strange time, like a bad acid trip. Nothing but lows and scary highs. Everything was unraveling like a child ripping through Christmas gifts, and our lives were the wrapping paper on the floor. George Carlin once said it's called the American dream for a reason, because you have to be asleep to believe it. Unless you're rich, then everything's going swimmingly. And then there's me, at my desk, typing away, like a bargain bin hunter as Thompson, trying to make sense of the senseless, while drinking wine that has a foot on the bottle. Late night television is culturally irrelevant. What was once meant to be entertainment in the age of Johnny Carson has become just another purity test with a few poorly placed jokes peppered in by people who have no idea what funny is anymore and see everything that they don't agree with as fascist. Case in point, Jimmy Fallon's Jort Shorts segment. This is meant to be funny, so I expect you to laugh.
I'm in my jorts. I'm in my Jort shorts. I'm in my jorts. Jean shorts. That means jorts.
Why don't you die?
I imagine at the gates of hell Jimmy Fallon bits are played while you're shuffled in. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here, for I am in Jort Shorts. Jimmy Fallon's show is like a bad ounce of weed. It's not even worth the effort to take part in. A prime example of late night hosts being out of touch was a short-lived Strikeforce 5 shitty podcasts, from the comfort of their mansions no less, while the rest of us were locked away in our rundown apartments as my ceiling leaked rainwater on my cat's head while he used a litter box, much to the dismay of Smokey. God rest his soul.
One more time, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon.
I'm Stephen Colbert.
I'm Jimmy Kimmel. I thought when you said Jimmy, you meant me, Jimmy, but you meant Jimmy.
I always mean you.
But when you say Seth Meyers, who do you mean?
I mean John Oliver.
It's the five of us together for maybe an hour a day.
Strike Force 5 is the name of our podcast. Subscribe to it now.
Spotify or wherever else you get your podcasts.
But Spotify, you. Kill me, please. I want to die.
On July 17th, Stephen Colbert's Late Show would be canceled at the end of 2026. No one cared much. It was like a woman past her prime crying about loneliness on TikTok to Zoomers who apathetically swipe away before the first tear hit the box of wine. For some reason, people acted as if this was a significant deal. And by people, I mean media outlets and a few out-of-touch celebrities, drunk on the high of knowing at least one of their children is trans. For the LA liberal, this was on par with being Christ the Redeemer.
Jamie Lee Curtis on Stephen Colbert's Late Show, being canceled.
It's bad. He's a great, great guy. They just cut NPR and, public broadcasting. Yes, they're trying to silence people, but that won't work. It won't work. We will just get louder.
I don't even get what's being silenced, besides some old, rich, closeted homosexual.
New York City, We're with Colbert rally for late night host is a bust with just 20 protesters.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
What a joke! A Big Apple rally in support of On His Way Out Late Show host Stephen Colbert drew fewer than 24 people Sunday, with even the NYPD cops on scene quickly calling it a day, since most of the demonstrators left after just a few minutes. Organizers said, "We're with Colbert," gathering outside the CBS Broadcast Center in Manhattan's West Side, said it was meant to be part of a nationwide call for integrity. Late Night with Colbert, honestly, is a special kind of suck. The type of late night programming so milquetoast it makes Linus Tech Tips seem edgy.
Something like 2002. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna deny that I dropped my fair share of hard R's back then because we didn't even the term hard R didn't even exist.
Scene.
I can't stand this quarantine. So Mr. Sandman, please get the vaccine.
You'll feel fine, and not to do it would be asinine. After your shot.
God, this show's hot with garbage.
It's not funny at all.
Let's be real here. There's nothing like government-funded late-night television telling you to get the jab for the wonton flu. Jimmy Fallon also did his own B-52-style COVID song with all the humor you expect from a 5-year-old that thinks they invented the wheel by creating parody songs.
Then Delta, then Omicron next. But this latest variant might be the best. It's XBB.1.5. Another brand of COVID-19 has arrived. It's a new strain.
His hair, whack. The way that he talks, whack. The way that he doesn't even like to smile, whack. Me, I'm tight.
Sad, Colbert Late Show is canceled. I'll miss moments like this, where Claire Danes is talking about the intelligence community allying itself with journalists, and Colbert abruptly changes the subject.
Different, right? We've been at it for a while, and the climate has changed. But this year it was all about, the distrust between the administration and the intelligence world, and the intelligence community was suddenly kind of allying itself with journalists, which usually they're not.
How long ago did you start shooting this season?
This clip is all the more telling after the article dropped that major companies, including YouTube, admitted to censoring social media for the Biden administration.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
Somehow, some way, Stephen Colbert won an award, proving that these award shows are a big circle jerk. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert won Best Talk Series at the Emmys. Colbert received a prolonged standing ovation for his win, and applause from the press corps backstage. To this day, it amazes me that Lily Singh couldn't beat the bricks off the current late-night TV show hosts.
On the other hand, Lily Singh is about as funny as watching your dog die.
On September 10th, Charlie Kirk was assassinated, creating a whole new level of political polarization. The ghoulish celebration of his death by people on the far left sent shockwaves through social media, leading to similar witch hunts we experienced during BLM. The pendulum had swung in full force. Jimmy Kimmel, seeing the backlash anyone foolish enough to be a douchebag about this whole situation got, thought that he was untouchable and decided to piss on the dragon.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
He certainly seems to have been a gamer. If you read online how people are reacting to the symbols that he was using on his casings, because the other three are as follows. Hey, fascist, catch, with 3 down arrow symbols. And there was another one, oh, Bella Ciao, Ciao like the Italian CIAO, Bella Ciao, Ciao Ciao, which is a reference to an Italian anti-fascist song used against the Nazis.
The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
It doesn't tell us that much, I've got to be honest. It's like what we learned today was he doesn't come from a political family. Michael Schellenberger has been scouring the social media and says he couldn't find one political post in the past 13 years from the mom or the dad. The mom works helping people with disabilities. The dad is in law enforcement for 27 years, but neither appears to be political at all. And even the son, the murderer, Tyler, does not appear to have been political at all until recent years.
Now, what made this egregious for many sponsors and network affiliates was the fact that Jimmy Kimmel was willfully ignoring factual information to push a narrative, because attacking conservatives seems to be a huge part of his show, especially his monologues.
I'm not hysterical. I laugh when people say, oh, you've got Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah. If you're a reasonable person, you should have Trump derangement syndrome.
It was clear that the assassin was anti-Trump, but pro-furry shades of gray and a militant lover of Bussy.
This is fine.
Alleged Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson played furry video games online, reports say.
That looks like the type of thing a very staunch conservative male would do. Disney ABC yanked Jimmy Kimmel off the air. The country was a powder keg and Kimmel was waving a flamethrower. Leno tried to warn late night show hosts a few times, and none of them listened.
Our show's never really been that political. We hit both sides equally, and we try to make everybody laugh.
You sit on a throne of lies.
I don't understand why you would alienate one particular group, or just don't do it at all, the former Tonight Show host said. I'm not saying you have to throw your support or whatever, but just do what's funny. Leno, if you're a comedian, you should focus on being funny. John Oliver, absolutely not. John Oliver slams Jay Leno's late night TV show advice, hard pass.
You gotta love when dudes who are built like pelicans think they're somehow warriors of freedom and justice. They're the comedic version of Captain America, and their super soldier serum is MAGA tears. Let's be real here. John Oliver doesn't have a comedy show. It's like an hour-long lecture from a man who looks like he buys feet pics while eating birdseeds.
God don't want me yet, man. I got more feet to taste.
Nextstar, the ABC affiliate, to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live. Blah, 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 blah. Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse.
It dawns on you how irrelevant late-night television has become culturally, and maybe why it's so politically charged. I mean, if you can't entertain people, you can always fearmonger the political landscape while making millions of dollars doing it. Ask Hassan Piker. Needless to say, in wake of current events, celebrities, media outlets, and Blue Sky users began to make wild claims. They accused chestnuts of being lazy, and that math was racist. Oh, and by the way, Jimmy Kimmel was a sacred cow.
Jimmy Kimmel's cancellation is 100 times worse than Charlie Kirk's shooting. For the future of America, it isn't even close.
And, Jimmy, look, I don't think what he said was exactly right. I don't. We don't agree on that. He didn't lose his job for it. He said the MAGA crowd was trying to characterize the assassin as anything but one of them because the 22-year-old kid in jail, his family was MAGA. As if a 22-year-old with a trans girlfriend never rebelled against their family.
For 6 days, Jimmy Kimmel was Anne Frank, hiding out in his 4 California compounds, collectively valued at $24 million, showing bravery in the face of overwhelming adversity. Needless to say, it was stunning and brave how he just held his head high from the safety net of being a multi-millionaire.
Reports. Democrats across the country have begun canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions to protest the decision to take Jimmy Kimmel's show off the air.
Wow, what a waste. The poor children.
In an age of armchair slack division, none were greater consumers than the progressive. In an act of solidarity with a multi-millionaire, they canceled their overpriced streaming services that offered them less than cable. In the digital dark age, you will own nothing and like it. And the consumer looks upon their digital overlord's visage and says, please, sir, give me less and charge me more.
This isn't right. He went full retard. You never go full retard. Free Jimmy Kimmel.
Free Jimmy Kimmel's school walkout at 12 p.m. Olivia Giuliana was part of the $20 million Democrat initiative to get back young men. It failed, obviously.
Yeah, nothing says authenticity like spending $20 million to pay consultants and strategists and focus groups to tell you how to talk to a certain audience. It specifically says to study the syntax, language, and content that gains attention and virality in these male spaces. Like what made Joe Rogan or Theo Vaughn or some of these manosphere guys huge was there's a level of authenticity. I've listened to a lot of both of them. I don't agree with a lot of what they say, but there's an entertainment value, and there's a this is just somebody shooting the you-know-what.
And now she's on Twitter trying to get Zoomers to give a fuck about a boomer losing his old folks home level talk show. On what planet does this make sense? The political aggregators want you to worry about a rich Hollywood elite getting a slap on the wrist, while average Americans who had the same energy, if not worse energy, than Jimmy Kimmel, and lost way more than he did, had to kick rocks when they lost their jobs. What a stupid time to be alive.
Rolling Stone during 2020. Why cancel culture is good for democracy. Rolling Stone now. People are losing their jobs for criticizing slain free speech advocate Charlie Kirk.
Oh my.
Well, it's troubling to say the least, and we all have to really take a moment and figure out how we feel about this type of thing, especially people doing what you do. It's I'm sure there's going to be some sort of collective move to respond to this, but I'm not smart enough or powerful enough to be the one to do it. But I imagine there's plenty of conversations going on to do something, because you just can't stand by and let stuff like that go on.
He said, in an attempt to give the right answer.
Stuff like, well, Jimmy getting his show pulled for, freedom of speech.
I don't give a shit.
You stupid MAGA idiots cheering for this because you think state-sponsored censorship won't come for you too. That's not how fascism works, you fools.
Did someone forget what the Biden administration did just a few years ago? Well, let's look at what she had to say just 2 years ago.
Republicans are losing their damn minds over Tucker Carlson getting fired, and it's absolutely glorious to behold.
By the way, did you know that ABC 10 was shot because Kimmel was off the air?
Police say ABC 10's building was targeted in a drive-by shooting yesterday afternoon. 3 bullet holes were seen in the window of the building's lobby. No one was hurt, but people were inside of that building. Thank you for joining us at 6. I'm Cecil Hannibal. We know that Sacramento police arrested the suspect this morning. KCRA3's Denson Cortez is live in the newsroom tonight. Denson, what have you learned?
Yes, Cecil, Sacramento police arresting 64-year-old Anibal Hernandez Santana, who was released on a $200,000 bail earlier today. And authorities finding...
Why?
At this point, the political polarization is hitting levels that surprise even me, and I've been doing this for years. I guess Jesse Ventura was before his time when he came out with the book Democrips and Rebloodlicans. No more gangs in government.
One of the hallmarks of authoritarianism is to terrify people into self-censorship. ABC ending Kimmel's show is a perfect example of this.
Holy God, where's this guy been the last literal 6 or 7 years, if not more? In fact, 10 years.
Big win in the battle of ideas for free speech. Roseanne said what she wanted to say, and ABC made the business decision that were right for them.
Fire him! He's a little bitch! He's a little bitch! He's a little bitch! He made my fanny itch!
And ABC, to their credit, didn't waste any time. They canceled her show today. I'm not a fan of censorship, but this wasn't about free speech. It was about consequences for saying something vile. You can say what you want, but networks don't have to pay you to say it. You can't just blame Ambien for that. Actions have consequences, and ABC made the right call.
Ironic.
What do you think about Jimmy Kimmel being pulled off the air, Roseanne, and what do you make of ABC putting him back on tonight?
Well, I guess he got a 6-day suspension, just like when Whoopi Goldberg came out with her disgusting comments on the Holocaust. She got a 2-week suspension. It just shows how they think. I got my whole life ruined, my no forgiveness, and all of my work stolen, and called a racist for time and eternity for racially misgendering someone. So it just shows how they think. It's a double standard. So whatever. Jimmy purposely lied, and that's for you get your hand slapped for 6 days for that.
This is a reoccurring theme. The people who celebrated censorship for years are now worried about free speech. These levels of hypocrisy are unprecedented and speak volumes for how fragmented people's minds have become in this political landscape. We are victims of confirmation bias and algorithms that are designed to probably get people to stay online as long as possible. It's like Plato's cave theory. But no one seems to care, so why should I? The network suspended Jimmy Kimmel, but political aggregators blamed the Trump administration, proving yet again life mirrors South Park episodes.
Canceled. You went out and you screamed and you yelled about being canceled. But the cancellation was coming from people who didn't like what you had to say. It was coming from people who didn't agree with what you were saying and were speaking out about it. This cancellation is the United States government coming and taking your voice away from you. It is the United States government because authoritarian regimes, fascist regimes have to degrade our freedoms more and more over time until we're living the smallest, the most frightened, the most secretive lives. Think of yourselves living under the Taliban, because that's where we're headed.
Right.
It's got me like Christian. The big CWC.
Kimmel stays, Trump must go. Kimmel stays, Trump must go.
Okay, we're gonna hear from.
What democracy looks like?
This is what democracy looks like.
Damn right it is.
This is the problem I have with politics today. To pretend that one side is any less sinister than the other in this day and age is like pretending you've never jerked off using your other hand. It's a lie and you know it. Taking time out of my busy day of doing jack and then shit, many articles seem to echo that sponsors were not happy. Unfortunately, Jimmy was a petulant jackass who wanted not to just poke the bear, but to kick it in the balls. This is what happens when you make millions of dollars and then you own toilets where you don't have to wipe your own ass. You start to think you're infallible or you're God.
How Jimmy Kimmel's suspension went down, sponsors panic, and defiant hosts in a painful call. The answer was not satisfactory to management, sources say. Meanwhile, the advisors' calls began to roll in, and then the big affiliate conglomerates, Nextstar and Sinclair, threatened to preempt the show. The second source says that the blowback was snowballing enough that had ABC not acted, Kimmel's show would have been dark in a large swath of the country, even beyond Sinclair and Nextstar territories, including Washington, D.C. metro area.
Looks like it wasn't Trump holding his finger on the thumb of some executive. They were literally having networks telling them to get bent.
The situation became a safety issue as Disney employees saw their emails doxed. Per the first source, some even received death threats. Disney wanted Kimmel to address the situation in a way that would take down the temperature. But what he had planned was going to fan the flames with the MAGA fan bases, the sources say. By this point, 66 of the roughly 200 affiliate stations had said they would not carry the episode. That's when ABC announced it was suspending the program. A Bob Iger and Donna Walden joint decision that was a last resort. The first person says Walden delivered the news to Kimmel but did not ask him to apologize, says sources, who describe Wednesday as a very heavy, very hard day inside the walls of Disney ABC.
The many years of being paid millions of dollars to read from a teleprompter and interview celebrities poorly with random moments of awkward silence had gone to the man's head. He believed his own hype at every turn. Like that time when he mused about fleeing America to go to Italy, when the Lord of the Orange Spray Tan won the election. But like all Hollywood elites, he was all show and no go.
A lot of people I know are thinking about where they can get citizenship and
I
stuff.
do have Italian. I did get Italian citizenship.
You do?
I do.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I do have that. And what's going on is as bad as you thought it was going to be.
Way worse.
It's so much worse. It's just unbelievable. Like, I feel like it's probably even worse than he would like it to be.
Oh my God, America's so terrible. Oh, I can't even enjoy my money or my $1 million homes. At the end of the day, this doesn't matter. Late night television is irrelevant, boring, and totally cringe, as the kids would say. Case in point, when people Jimmy Kimmel didn't like or care about got the platform, he mocked them.
Fox News has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson. After all these years, they are parting ways, which means he was fired. I mean, that's really what parting ways means. Tucker couldn't be reached for comment. He's already on a plane to Moscow to meet with his manager. But what a shock. I mean, what an absolutely delightful shock this is. Now Tucker can spend more time at home tanning his testicles and touching himself to that sexy green M&M. Sadly, he's probably not done poisoning old people's brains. The question now is, where will he do it next? Will he go to OAN? Will he go to Newsmax? Will he crawl back up Satan's fiery beehole from whence he came? We don't know. One of the most despicable Mother Tuckers ever to appear on American television.
Now he's on the receiving end of it. So why should I care? He's not a martyr. He's the epitome of white privilege that the left hates so much. Point being, Jimmy Kimmel returned from a shorter ban than Hassan Piker.
In a statement on Jimmy Kimmel Live, blah, 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 blah. Last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming of tense situation and emotional moment for our country. It is a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive, but he doesn't have to apologize. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached a decision to return to the show on Tuesday.
Today is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
Flashback.
MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
End of flashback.
He attempted to elicit some form of emotion through a few forced tears that didn't fall, and a relatable scenario with a family member on the other side of the political spectrum, as if his family members were across the Berlin Wall or something.
I didn't like the tears.
God damn.
You know why I didn't like the tears?
What? You thought they were fake?
Because he cried when he mentioned Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
He didn't cry 2 weeks ago or a week ago when he got...
I think he was crying that people thought he would celebrate the death of. Yeah. Like, that is what hurt him. It's like, how would you think I'm that kind of guy? Yeah, that's how...
He should have said that. No, I feel like he should have said that because it felt like he was just trying to do some performative emotion.
If he's that good of a crier on command, he should act.
I mean, he has that. He's acting forever. The Man Show.
The Man Show wasn't acting, dude. I'm talking about... Jesus Christ.
It was acting.
No, it wasn't.
The Man Show?
It wasn't acting. That was
you think that's just where he was in his life?
That was a talk show.
That's just where he was in his moment. But no, he used to do sketches and stuff like that. Okay. He pretended to be Karl Malone for God's sake.
That's true. That was great acting. He should have got an Emmy for that.
The conversation then went back to Trump because, and I quote, "He can't take a joke," which is true. Without a laugh track, none of us even know when Jimmy Kimmel himself is making a joke. Case in point, I'll play you a clip.
Trump has been suspended from Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and even Snapchat. But don't worry, Mr. President, there are still plenty of apps you do have access to. You still have Spotify to drown out the sound of millions of people cheering as you leave. You still have Pet Finder since you're on the outs with Mike Pence. You have Cameo, which will soon be your primary source of income. You can still play Among Us, a game where everyone accuses each other of being against them. You'd love it. You could play Pokemon Go. You and Donnie Jr. can hunt people.
While looking up all of this, it turns out that Trump and Jimmy Kimmel have an online feud going on. And honest to God, this is all retarded. I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. The White House was told by ABC that the show was canceled. Sad. Very sad. Something happened between then and now, because his audience is gone, and his talent was never there. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny at all, not very funny, Fluffy doesn't like him, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? Yes, Fluffy, he is yet another arm of the DNC. To the best of my knowledge, that would make a major legal campaign contribution. I think we're gonna test ABC out on this. We're gonna test them. Let's see. Fuck off, Fluffy. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $60 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. Very lucrative. Very lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Definite losers. Like Elizabeth Warren. Let Jimmy Kimmel rot in his bad ratings.
What a charming story. Thanks, Fantasy Man.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel had 9 million views, that show, but it will probably taper off because once this hype goes down and everybody realizes Jimmy Kimmel isn't Anne Frank, he's a rich white man in Wellington, LA.
Spoiler alerts, it did.
Jimmy Kimmel corporate fallout, threatening legal action. Disney shareholders want to know if improper and political or affiliate pressure went into host's week-long suspension.
God forbid, 1 out of the 10,000 late-night TV shows nobody watches goes off the air for 1 week. Politicians and D-list celebrities sprang into action to ensure as many people as possible can be part of the right side of history, and that it was okay to resubscribe to Disney Plus now. The sad part is I'm not being hyperbolic.
Well, last night I did. I laughed so hard. I was so happy to see him back. But unfortunately, 20% of Americans were not given the option to watch him. If you were in New Orleans, if you were in Salt Lake, St. Louis, DC, Nashville, you didn't get a chance. And that's the fault of Sinclair and Nextstar.
But I thought it was Donald Trump's fault.
So if you're in those markets, call those people up, complain, call their advertisers, or just, watch him on YouTube like 9 million people did last night. I, like so many people who in protest canceled their Disney and Hulu subscriptions, have signed back up. So do that too. Disney, Hulu, thank you for doing the right thing. Oh my God, this is a goddamn nightmare.
This is the sort of unhinged consumerism that only existed in dystopian sci-fi novels just a few years ago. But it's now a part of our everyday reality, and they label me problematic. At the end of the day, politics in America isn't about right or wrong anymore. It's about owning the other side, and that troubles me. But then again, what can I do about it? I think Hunter S. Thompson said it best. In a closed society where everybody's guilty, the only crime is getting caught. In a world of thieves, the only final sin is stupidity.